बहुत बहुत नमस्कार सब लोगों को। थैंक यू। मैं खड़े होकर इसलिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि मैंने कहा फिर वो नेताओं जैसे बात होने लगी। एंड in this place I am an ardent student of Shri Aurobindo. In fact, I am a student of Hindu philosophy. So I want to give a disclaimer first. So I think in that plane we are all equal. All of us are equal. If we are the creation, then all creation is the same. It's like, but the problem is the society creates this inequality. We also go to exhibitions, we look at a painting and we say this painting is better, that painting is better. We forget both the paintings are made by the same painter. Or both the paintings are equal, they're the same. They may be unique and different, but they are the same in quality, the real quality. It's our perception that makes them different. So that's why I said in this place, I have no right to stand, and it's not a political meeting. I am going to talk about something which is, I have been working secretly for many years. Not just 1 or 2 years, but for many years. That is what I've been investing all my energies into research. It's not that I have some special knowledge. A mother has a very special knowledge about raising the children. A chef has a special knowledge about experimenting with food. A teacher has special knowledge about imparting knowledge. So everybody has some special knowledge. It doesn't make anybody superior or inferior. I want to break all the barriers between all of us. I want everybody to be in a meditative state. And what I am going to share with you may not agree with your belief systems, but that is my idea. Unless and until somebody questions your belief system, we want something. We don't learn new things. So I have been very disillusioned 15, 16 years ago, because I was also in a race like you. This race of hyper-capitalism, hyper-consumerism. I was practicing advertising. I was making commercial cinema, stars, women, parties, status, arrogance, being snobbish, having access to all the best things in the world, and if you don't get them, then feeling frustrated, angry, competing, always stuck with the same thing which every human being is stuck with: bigger, larger, better. Today, all the children I meet, they always say, somebody asked me, Arjun asked me, who's your best actor according to you? Which is the best city according to you? Is Delhi better or Bombay better? Is Chicago downtown better or Manhattan better? We have become victims of hyper-capitalism. Hyper-capitalism wants us to be stuck like a rat in comparison. The biggest problem in this world is comparison. You drop comparison, your life becomes magical. It really becomes magical. I sometimes wonder that why a snake and ours, why some animals just don't do anything, they just sit. And why idiots only keep looking at the sky without wondering about the world. I think they are happier people because they have no comparison. Idiot doesn't say who's bigger idiot. He accepts that I am an idiot. Idiot, अब मैं हिंदी में उसको मूड मतलब जो ज़्यादा सोचता होता नहीं, दुनिया के चक्कर में नहीं फंसता है. So I got disillusioned. I studied a lot of philosophy as a child and as a student, and then also growing up. My introduction to philosophy was Jiddu Krishnamurti, and then my next philosopher I read was Ayn Rand. So just see the difference. Okay, absolute difference. One doesn't believe in the individual and one is only about the individual. So those two ends and in between lots. Then I got interested in philosophy. But all the philosophers I found were talking more about themselves. And they were separating one philosophy from the another. At the same time, I was highly influenced by yoga. And I know and I understood because I got introduced to yoga through Patanjali and not through sadhus and babas and all these television celebrity yogis. So I got it from the real source. And I realized in Patanjali's yoga, there is no mention of asana or there is no mention of the modern style yoga. So I truly, in true sense, I knew that yoga means the union. But I didn't know what is this union about. What yoga means add. So what do you add from what? What adds up? Two people add up. The world and the material and the soul adds up. What adds up? I didn't know. And then I came to US. So this was my journey in India, where science, philosophy, yoga. And then I came to US to study at Harvard, and then I joined advertising. And then I also had at that time $100,000 dream. But 10, 15 years ago, I was disillusioned. And normally you get disillusioned when you have children. And in that disillusionment, I found 4 or 5 guiding lights. And at the top was Sri Aurobindo. Because it was, a lot of people said it's very difficult to understand. I found it very simple to understand. Because everybody gets stuck in his language. It doesn't matter sometimes, if you go to nature, you have 2 choices. If you go to forest, you can become the forest. Or you can observe the forest from outside. If you observe the forest from outside, in that case you will find a lot of diversity in forest. You will find rough path, you will find tough terrains, you will find mosquitoes, you will find lots of things. Once you become forest yourself, right, then you don't have to bother, you just forest. So I have realized great souls like Sri Aurobindo, you cannot see them from outside. Once you start seeing them from outside, then you are like a tape recorder. Then you are like a publishing house. You are just publishing ideas and this thing. You have to become one. You have to become them. Now it is easy said and done, but you have to become them. Once you become them, once you are Sri Aurobindo, once you are Krishna, once you are Shiva, you are in that state. Then only you understand them. Then language and words, these things don't matter and they don't mean. Maharshi Ramanna, if you know, a lot of people call him Bhagwan Ramanna. In India, if you are a evolved soul, people make you Bhagwan instantly. We are in seeker, means we have become such seekers of Bhagwan that if you go to one temple, people fight over who is a better Bhagwan. So I'm not getting into all that. So what I'm trying to say is, so somebody asked Maharshi Ramanna, that is also one of the greatest examples of greatness you have to understand. Maharshi Ramanna, there's a book on his name. Okay, it's a thick book, some 300-400 pages. But I bought that book. So I read first page, brilliant, second, third, 10th page, and after that 11th page, there was nothing, blank page. And then all the pages were blank, and I thought it was a publishing mistake. But then I realized, because he said, I have nothing to say. His book is an empty book. So somebody, a BBC reporter asked him, Maharshi Ramanna se humne pucha, how to treat others? He said, there are no others. This is a very transforming, it actually brought transformation in me. So what I am going to share with you, मैं थोड़ा भूमिका बना रहा था आपको कि why I picked up this subject. So I am nobody to tell you, sitting in this room, obviously, I mean, it would be very, very rude on my part if I tell you what I know. I'm just going to share with you that where Sri Aurobindo led me. I picked up Sri Aurobindo to study the concept of Indic Renaissance. He spoke a lot about Indic Renaissance, and but through him, I got introduced to the concept of evolution of consciousness. So I'm just going to share my little journey with you, how I have understood the concept of consciousness. And for many years I'm investing a lot with my foundation and myself in evolving the concept of creative consciousness. So whatever happened in Pahalgam, whatever is happening in US with the new government and new administration, whatever is happening in this world, what is that consciousness? It's not that consciousness. Another problem is that because of a lot of politicization of Hinduism, a lot of people have come to understand consciousness as something which is somewhere distant, कहीं दूर consciousness है, आंखें बंद कर लो तो consciousness मिल जाए. Consciousness is a very simple thing. I mean, consciousness simply means awareness. That's why I said, if I'm talking to you, we are in meditative state. You don't have to listen to me what I'm saying. You can just disappear. You can go in your own thoughts. You can be aware of yourself. I'm just a catalyst. Right? So consciousness, we are at different levels of consciousness. At the same time, we operate at many levels of consciousness. The consciousness which is being created here right now will not be the same when you go out and sit in your car. And if you're in Delhi, definitely not. Right? So आप यहाँ एकदम deep, अलग consciousness, your awareness about life, awareness about the world, universe, oneness we are talking about, there are no others. And suddenly you sit in a car, somebody will honk और तो आप उसे माँ बहन की गाली दोगे, if you are in Delhi. So we operate at different levels of consciousness. Once you understand the levels of consciousness at which we operate, your choice becomes easy. One is, you have no consciousness. You don't even know where you are operating. And you are just going with the life which most of the people in this world do. But everybody is present in some kind of a consciousness. So I try to put them together for myself and I'm just sharing with you. So whatever happened in Pahalgam, this is basically tribal consciousness. The humanity started, it all started with tribals. We formed groups of 10, 15 people around a fire because fire was warm. We wanted warmth. And 10, 15 people also give us kind of a human warmth and kind of a security. Now, over a period of time when they started living together, when they would sleep, some animal will come and take their child away. Or some other, somebody else will come and kill them, take their food away, and the fight was of fire. Or generally it was for fire. Some people will take your fire away. So in a kind of awareness started growing, kind of consciousness started growing, and the consciousness was that we have to protect our tribe. Our tribe is the best, that's the word, other tribe is evil. And you can survive only by killing the other tribe. Other tribe takes my child away, other tribe takes my food away. And the second fear was death. And I am telling you, if you take out death away from this world, the world, if suppose there is a commune and you specially condition children and don't tell them about the concept of death, trust me, all religion will go away from this world. Religion exists only because of our fear of death. There is no reason anybody should believe in any religion. We believe in religion only because we are scared. अगर मैं आपसे बोल दूं, now you are an eternalist, means a real Sanatani, not the way these days politics use the word Sanatan. In real sense, you are Sanatan, means you will never die. Tell me which God are you going to pray to? Right? Everything will disappear if you don't have fear of death. But death is a reality. So people in the tribe, they were scared that we'll die. They were scared of death because they sitting in front of fire, 10 people for many years, sharing food together, breaking nuts together. Suddenly one person dies and they think it's going to happen to me. So they started believing in superstitions. Okay, all the voodoo, black magic, those kind of things. If you see people who live in tribes, they wear various kinds of things, they do lots of ritualistic things. We also do all those kind of things. So we are not different from tribes. Let's not think that, okay, we are like superior. No. If you go to IIT, it doesn't make you better. We do exactly the same kinds of things. Same kind of things. Go to Haridwar, Rishikesh, you'll find people painted in colors. All here, because I'm sitting in Sri Aurobindo's temple, so I'm not going to promote. And if you feel bad, please don't feel bad. My idea, I am also ritualistic. Idea is not to, but idea is to share how I think. So, so, that became our DNA. And today also, what are football fan clubs? What are baseball fan clubs? These are tribes. These are all tribes. If you don't vote for me, you are not a nationalist. If you don't follow my God, then you are not a religious person. All this fanatic fight between you and me, this whole concept of othering, they are bad, we are good. What is happening is, in India, what is happening? All over the world, what is the history of humanity? 5,000 years of recorded human history, approximately. There has not been even one single day in the history of humanity when there was no war going on this earth. Even now as we speak, there are 7 or 9 real wars are going on. You know only about 2. You know only about Israel and Hamas, and there are wars going on between countries in Africa, huh?
Russia.
Yeah, those are the only 2 we know. Because those are the only 2 wars mass media is interested in. Because those are the only 2 wars where American arms are going or Russian arms are going. So we are all victims of this game. But there are 7, 8 wars going on right now. Besides that, there are lots of smaller wars are going on. India, war between Kannada and Hindi, Tamil and Hindi, war between Brahmins and Dalits, wars between, so many wars are going on. In America, Democrat versus Republic. Now, after some time, there will be war between Republican versus Republican, Trump Republicans and non-Trump Republicans. So war is going on in some way or the other, black versus white. So, therefore, we start believing in spirits. We start believing that the things which are unexplainable. Then we reject science. If somebody tells you that scientifically speaking, come on, now we are same tribe. All of us are driving Teslas, living in the same place, so we are all same. We wear same clothes. If you go anywhere in the world, people wear same clothes, more or less eat the same food, drink same Coca-Cola, we fly same airlines. Where is the difference? There is no difference, but still we think in terms of tribe. My tribe is better than your tribe. And in this, the first victim is your freedom. Your freedom is taken away. You have no individual freedom in a tribal consciousness. And sacrifice for the tribe is supposed to be the utmost quality of human beings. धर्म के लिए मर जाओ, ये कर दो, right? वो काफिर है, उसको मार दो. Then you are this thing. ये करो तो ये मिलेगा, वो sacrifice करो तो वो मिलेगा. And if you see the sacrifice की जो प्रथा है, जो हिंदू में वेद, I mean actually this concept of sacrifice of animals was started by Hindus, let me tell you. It was started, the entire Vedas, I don't know how many people have actually read Vedas. Vedas are nothing but the rituals of sacrifice. How to sacrifice. Even in India now, most of the places, because UP, that's why we believe that most of the people are vegetarians, but 73% people in India are non-vegetarians. And not one, many research studies have said that you can Google as soon as you leave from here. So this is a myth taking place, and we also then, we transcended to different level of consciousness. And then the philosophy came. Hinduism started with rituals like any other tribe in the world, which is a natural evolution. And suddenly I don't know what happened on that land. Something happened, I have no idea how it happened. And then Upanishads started. And that till date nobody can beat that philosophy. Every other philosophy in the world, all the science which we know today is ultimately, basically, you will find has origins in Hindu philosophy. And that's why I am such an ardent student of Hindu philosophy. I'll come to that in the end when I talk about Indic Renaissance. But first let me lead you to creative consciousness. So in this tribal consciousness, you don't have any identity, whatever the tribe says. But what happens in this is human nature. In the tribe, there is one person who has strong ego. And he says, I have to lead the group. And then he takes over, he starts leading you, he says, let's go there, we can kill animals like that. I'll tell you the strategy how to kill the other tribe. I'll tell you how to defeat this tribe. And he'll say, you have danger from that other tribe. And I'm the only one who can save you. Initially, it must have been because he had more weapons or he had some instruments or some tech tools. So therefore, he could assert that power. But in these times, it's the words, and whoever has the mic can do that. So that's why I'm not standing on the dais. This is the second stage of evolution. I call it ego consciousness, where you become slaves to somebody else's ego. Right? If you think deeply, very deeply, when somebody says, tonight I'm going to win this match, or in a war we have to defeat them, I will save you, you are in danger. And throughout, don't think that only Trump is saying that, or our Prime Minister is saying that. Throughout the history of humanity, some leader has said, I am your only savior. Nobody has ever been able to save humanity. We are exactly standing where we were standing earlier. We may have more comforts and conveniences, but tell me, what has any leader saved you from? You have the same jealousy, same violence, same hatred, same love, same despair, same suffering, same anguish. Human beings, including me, we are so stupid that Buddha said there is no God and his followers made him God. Right? That's what we do. That's why I said what I am saying, you don't have to listen, just hear the sound. After some time, even the sound will disappear. I am just trying to be a catalyst showing you how I experienced. So in this ego creates dacoits, creates mafia leaders. It creates, I use the word naxals. In film, the villain, the Joker, Gabbar Singh, ego. He says, I'll save you, and that's why he has followers. Dictators. Hitler, what did he do? Mussolini, what did he do? Be careful in America. I mean, I don't think your president has any quality of becoming a dictator, but be careful. So, dictators. Okay, CEOs, strong CEOs. You say, oh, he's so dynamic. No, he's not dynamic. He is leading you to ego consciousness. My company is number one. I'll ensure Coca-Cola is number one. So all these kind of things, anybody who's saying that there is fear, there is danger, and I'm going to save you because I'm better equipped, that leads you to ego consciousness. And when you become victim of that kind of consciousness, then it only becomes about me. Not even the tribe. You are only talking about me. Okay? And in the tribal areas, when somebody became the leader of a tribe, what did he do? Eventually, what did he do? He stole your wife. When invaders came to India, what did they do? They came from tribal consciousness. They were tribes, actually. All these people, if you ever go to Samarkand and Bukhara in Uzbekistan, so there is a tomb of Temur Lung, and who came to India and in one night killed 100,000 people in Delhi. So you will read about his life and you will understand that they were basically tribes. And their whole thing was that how many wives they can loot, how many houses they can destroy of the other tribe. So that was but what happens is that human beings also have an unexplainable divine quality, which I will, in the end, I'll tell you, and if you are Sri Aurobindo's follower, then you understand better than me. But there is, when we say Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, it actually, it's a scientific formula. It's not that somebody has written Tattvamasi means you are that, thou art that, you are God, or you are part of the whole universe. You are that atom from where Big Bang happened, and which is why all of us exist today. The other day I went to a planetarium in Manhattan just to see a show. I wanted to see it about the universe. Where is your home? It's a wonderful show, 15-20 minutes. Where is your home? And they take you from wherever you live to uh, to our planets, and then solar system, then the galaxy, Milky Way, intergalactic galaxies, and then through the black hole to other universes, observable universes, non-observable, and an infinite universe. And then they ask you a question, so where is your home? Right? And it ends with a line, a scientific line, which the modern science uses. And that line comes from Hindu philosophy. They say in the end, this universe is our home. Okay? We live in this universe, and this universe lives in us. So when we say, where is Brahman? Say, look inside. That's where the entire universe is. So human beings are, why we are not animals? Why we are human beings? Because we are gifted with a unexplainable, undescribable quality, which always leads you to seeking something different. And this we understand somewhere subconsciously that ego consciousness is not good, it's not destructive. We may follow dictators, but we don't become dictators ourselves. So we want to move on. And that's how humanity evolved. And then comes the next level of consciousness, which is civilizational consciousness. It's not that civilization, what happened? People said, no, there are very many tribes, but let's have a common denominator and let's all of us evolve together. But then again, we could not get rid of ego. In this, what happened is, then came rules, then came rituals, then came all kinds of traditions, then came the institution of marriage, then came education, then came lots of things, all this democracy or all the social structures which you see basically came in civilizational consciousness. So you will realize that sometimes we have tribal consciousness. When Pahalgaon happened, all of us say, go and kill these people. Right? We operate at that level. If we are Indian, so if there's a Hindu-Muslim debate, instantly every Indian or Pakistani or we become tribal. Instantly, it takes us no time. We become tribal. Cricket teams between India and England are playing. It's not Pakistan. India and England play. Immediately we have to defeat them. No logic, nothing. So we operate at tribal consciousness. Going to some say India. Oh, इंडिया विश्व गुरु बनेगा, हम विश्व गुरु, तो कोई बोलेगा बनेगा क्या, बन चुके हैं. पता है इंडिया हमेशा से विश्व गुरु था. और कोई अगर यंग बच्चा आपके घर में है, जैसे अर्जुन है, उसने पूछ लिया अगर था तो अभी क्यों नहीं है, तुम क्या जानते हो, यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग, बड़ों के मुंह नहीं लगते. दिस इज ऑल ईगो कॉन्शियसनेस. देन वी से अच्छा चलो अर्जुन, लेट्स गो टू अ टेंपल, लेट्स गो डू पूजा. व्हाई वी हैव टू डू पूजा? No, it is done. It's our tradition. पहुंचो. It's our tradition. Go, बड़े हैं, उनकी respect करो. You know, शादी है, कुछ gift देना है. All these things, Diwali, I'm not against. Please, I'm not against. I'm a creative person. I'm just showing you. We are in a forest. There are all kinds of trees. There are 100-year-old trees. There are bush. There's river. There are lakes. There are animals. There are serpents. I am not judging that tiger is better looking or snake is better looking. I'm just showing you this is all is there. Rest is for you to decide where you want to stand. And I hope in the end you will take something back. And this is where the concept of God appears. Before that is the superstition, the spirit, something which kills you. You die at the tribal level. Now the concept of gods come. That we have to hold on to something. It's not that civilizational consciousness is bad, but you have to also understand why all the civilizations have disappeared, have perished. Because civilizations have a life. If they are not constantly evolving, then they have to perish. A tradition, we always quote Ved mein ye likha tha, Ved mein ye likha tha. I also ask a counter question. That when they were writing Veda and Puran and all these things, how did the sky look like? When they looked at the sky, how did it look like? Just a plain, clean sky with some stars. They didn't understand the meaning of those stars, so they made whatever the stars, dots they put together, made constellations. Correct? But today, how does the universe look like? You have pictures. Astronauts are going to moon, Mars, and the new telescopes are seeing things which you have never seen. I saw those. If you are ever in Manhattan, go to the planetarium. It's a half an hour show. Amazing show. I don't know how long it's running. The kind of imagery they have got is unbelievable. You're making films like Gravity, Interstellar. People were stuck in space for 9 months, and then Sunita Williams and all, they were brought down, human excellence. Now you tell me, who should you believe more, the people who know modern science or people who wrote something in Veda? Please don't mind my words. These days everybody gets offended. In Sri Aurobindo's time, you would question anything. People thought that you are introduced to a new idea. So that's why I'm going a little slow on that. So my idea is definitely, मैं हाथ जोड़ के कह रहा हूँ, not to offend. Please don't. I believe in God. You believe in God. But at the same time, I'm a Hindu by DNA and by dharma. So I question all the times. If 9-year-old Nichiket goes and questions, then definitely I am almost touching 60, so I have a right to question. No problem. So civilizational consciousness gave birth to religion. The problem with religion is that it also has some elements of tribe. We say my religion is the best. In fact, all the answers are given in my religion, in my scriptures. Christianity, can you ever in your lifetime convince a Christian that your religion is not the best? Or your religion doesn't know? You don't have all the answers. Can you ever convince a Mohammedan that your religion doesn't have all the answers, or it's outdated? Forget now. Where are you stuck? Earth is not flat. Can you tell him? Convince him. The real Orthodox Muslim. How do you tell him that Earth is not flat? He thinks scientists are fooling us. How do you convince a Jew? How do you convince an Orthodox Hindu that you are Shiva? Shiva is not separate from us. How do you convince an Orthodox Hindu? I'm not saying every Hindu. In fact, Hinduism is the only liberal, progressive, scientific faith system left in the world today. I always say it's an open faith system. Like you have what? Open source. मैं IT का आदमी नहीं हूँ. Open source and closed source I know definitely for sure. That I know very well. So we are the only open faith system. You can always improvise. If you look at the statues of Shiva, you will find so many different expressions, so many different statues, and the modern ones are very ugly, very badly done, because they are done by Chinese artists, they are done by people in Vietnam, they are done by all kinds of people. Don't mind it, but all these people who now put up the world's largest statue of Shiva, and you also spend hundreds of dollars going there and seeing all these hula. So, and I can say these things because they are saints turning politicians, or they are saints turning showmen. I'm a showman turning a saint, so I have a right to say that. They cannot afford to say that. But all this drama around statues, but still, nobody objects. Try and make a cross in a different way. Show Jesus Christ in a totally different way. Show Buddha in a different way. You cannot. Can you make Buddha with a child sitting on his lap? They will kill you. Somebody in ancient time made reclining Buddha, but today you are not allowed to make reclining Buddha. Do you know you are not allowed to make a film on Buddha? What a loss for India. One of the greatest persons, a gift of India to the world, you can't make a film on him. So, we are in one family, you will find 4 brothers. One is praying to Ganesha, one to Shiva, one is a Krishna Bhakt, one is a Ram Bhakt, and one says there is no God. And all exist under the same roof with the same love, same brotherhood and everything. This is one of the greatest qualities of our civilization. That's why we have survived. But now this civilization is not very healthy. Let me also warn you. The way we are going is not a very healthy thing, because our civilizational consciousness, as long as it's evolving, as long as it's seeking based, it's questioning, it is seeking answers, it knows a civilization which says, I don't know, I want to know, I am in search of God, I don't know. And it asks you to look inside. When you look inside, you discover lots of things. At least it's better to look at your wife and not your neighbor's wife. So it's better to look at your own heart and your own mind rather than somebody else's mind. Let me judge myself, not you. Tell me which religion or which civilization ever said this. Aztec civilization, Mongol civilization, Greek civilization, Roman civilization, all these civilizations have perished because they were always looking outside. They were looking at somebody else's civilization. Roman civilization said, I have to destroy this, I have to finish them. So they were always fighting. Hindu civilization is the only civilization which never ever looked outside. We were content inside. We were content inside because we got a chance to express ourselves in so many ways as we could. And you, whatever you want, you can believe in. You look at the sky and say, sky is my God. Okay, sky is your God. Tell me which other civilization or religion, let's come to it, says that God is nothing. शून्य. जो शिव भक्त है मेरी तरह, वो जानते होंगे शून्य का concept. I don't know Sri Aurobindo has spoken about infinity and shunya or not. He has definitely. And we are the first people who spoke about infinity, infinite. And I went to planetarium, the most modern science of the most modern science, that also talks about infinity. We came from infinity. That one atom came from infinity. And what we discover is infinity. So, but then what happens with civilization? Civilization in the modern times, that consciousness also then had nations. And then again, whole thing boiled down to sacrifice. Army should sacrifice their lives for saving the nation, and all those kind of concepts came. So the thing is, we have been in civilizational consciousness. Most of the Hindus, I know it, I can vouch for them. Whatever they say, whatever they write on WhatsApp, whatever anger it's a reaction. After Pahalgam or after Murshidabad, that's a reaction. I understand that, but ultimately when they go back home, then most of them are in civilizational consciousness and they are happy with that. At least they're peaceful, happy, because you get so many avenues to express yourself. Hindu philosophy is the most creative system in the world. But in civilization also, what happened, these traditions, a large majority of population feels they are disadvantaged. Because people who have knowledge about, अब मैं यहाँ ऊपर बैठा हूँ, आप नीचे बैठे हैं, राइट? यहीं से हायरार्की चालू हो जाती है. धीरे धीरे आप मेरी बातें अगर अच्छी लगने लगेंगी, आप मुझ पे बिलीव करने लगेंगे. उसके बाद मैं आपसे कुछ कहूँगा, आप मानने लगेंगे. फिर अगली बार आएंगे, you will get me some apples. Slowly I'll say, give me some money. You will give me money, which I'll ask you at the end of the show. so, and then I'll become superior to you. And that's human nature. Ego comes in, I start exploiting you. And the discrimination begins. And the whole majority starts feeling they are oppressed. Then they want to change their consciousness. They want to move. But most of the people, like in India, Dalits, they didn't know where to go. So again, somebody with an ego, okay, please don't misunderstand me. Please treat whatever I say, look at it purely from an intellectual and creative aspect. It doesn't, I'm just showing you. Then Dr. Ambedkar, he said, okay, I am going to save you. How am I going to save you? What solution did he give? He said, convert to Buddhism. Buddha said there is no Buddhism. Buddha said there is no ism. Buddha said there is no mind. After, I don't know how many of you know, there was not only one Buddha. There were many, many Buddhas. Go to Sarnath. There are many Buddhas.
Bhutan is the same. Bhutan has the same.
Huh?
Bhutan has so many Buddhas.
No. Buddhas were born in Bihar. Buddha is a tradition of people who questioned Advaita. So after 1,000 years of debate, Buddhism got crystallized. It's like scientists. they don't agree with something, they say they don't agree with a certain law of science, and then they're debating with each other, it goes on and they crystallize into the new form of science. Similarly, after 1,000 years of debating with Advaita Vedanta followers, Vedanta, what Vedanta says? Vedanta simply says that everything is one. Thus, if the source is one, then everything is one, talks about oneness. And we said the only way we talked about concept of moksha, which is, so we believed in continuity. For us, time is like a kal chakra. It's time goes round and round and round and round. Okay, so nothing is born, nothing is dead. Atma na to paida hota hai, na marta hai. Okay, that is the concept of Gita. So we believed in a continuity of everything, and which is true also, because this universe which you are seeing after Big Bang is continuous, it's going on, it's ever expanding. So that's what we believed in. Buddhism, then Buddha crystallized, he said, okay, if everything is a manifestation, so it's about mind. It's the mind which is suffering. So when I say I have pain, I am suffering, who's suffering? I am asking you. When you say I'm angry that in Pahalgaon so many people, who is angry? When you get up in the morning and irritated and you say you got up on the wrong side of the bed, who got up on the wrong side of the bed? So it's the cells of your body, every single cell. You are nothing but your cells. So Buddha said your mind, so no mind. He said thought is the biggest problem. Thought is manifesting everything, so finish thought. I'm saying in a very layman's language, I can speak for hours on this. So he said that there is no mind. So he said the real liberation is when there is no thought, no mind. That's why in Buddhist meditation, you don't do anything, just sit and observe your thought. And you don't move, even if scratching or there's an ant or somebody, even a frog jumps on you, you don't move, you just sit. Because that also is a thought and you observe that thought. It's only when there is no mind, you get nirvana. Nirvana and moksha, a lot of people, आज मुझे विवेक जी कह रहे थे लोग शब्द नहीं के अर्थ नहीं समझते, सही कह रहे थे. Nirvana and moksha are two different things. Moksha is continuity. Moksha leads you to liberation and then you continuous. Nirvana is the end. Buddhists don't believe in reincarnation. Modern Buddhist says that Buddha had a dream that he was so and so in his previous birth, and I said, यार भाई क्या तुम सही हो कि बुद्धा सही है, पहले ये बताओ. Then people don't have answer. So Buddha said nirvana means the end. And the end doesn't mean death. Right? The end simply means the end of thought. And just you. So your cell doesn't have a thought. It's a chemical process. Right? So mind is also a chemical process. So what happens in civilizational consciousness? You feel oppressed. There is nobody who doesn't feel oppressed because traditions bind you. We know somewhere in your heart, somewhere back of the mind, your DNA, your memory, you know that why this tradition, but you do it out of fear. You say God may get upset. No, ये वही है जो और ये कैसे आता है इसका मैं आपको एक psychological explanation देता हूँ if you believe in the science. It all starts when a child is born and he says he wants to go somewhere. Mother says, don't go in the basement. Mother is scared that the child may fall in the stairs or he may get scared because it's dark inside. So he says, why not go inside? He said, there is a bhoot, there is a ghost. And that's how we create fear. Child wants to go out, you live in a village, wants to go. He says, okay, mom, what is beyond those mountains? Mother thinks, which is also a good thing, mother thinks, if I tell him that there is a wonderful side valley over there, then one day he will run and go and I'll lose him. Or animals will eat him up. Or somebody will take the child away. So what does mother say? No, don't go there. There is a ghost. There is a very big lion over there. There is a big dinosaur over there. Or whatever, there is a shark over there. So we start scaring from childhood when a child is born. And that's how this fear of unknown becomes our strongest memory. And that's why you see we are always scared of getting lost in a city. We are scared of getting lost in life. Whereas if Sri Aurobindo, if you sit with Sri Aurobindo, close your eyes and you tell him, I am lost, he said, you are blessed by the divine. What can be better thing than getting lost? It's only when you are lost you discover. right? Imagine if we were not lost. How would we discover so many wonderful things in this world? The greatest, nobody would have discovered America if Columbus wasn't lost. Imagine you won't be sitting here. So getting lost is a great thing. You discover lost. So we try to move up. So what humanity did from civilizational these things, said no, we have to move up. And by so we started using science and technology. Now you will see how you live in various consciousness in one single day. Suddenly you say, no, tradition is everything. And then the next moment, where is my Apple phone? Okay, where is my Tesla? And then you are talking about, see how Tesla has made my life so easy. It comes, parks on its own and all that. You are in a totally different consciousness. Then you enter a supermarket. You are in a different consciousness. See, wonderful. You don't have to go and now produce wheat anymore or rice anymore. It comes in packets. Who wants to have cows in your home? You get packed milk, processed food. So you start believing in science and science and technology, what it does, you can't eat technology. Technology is converted into products, and those products are sold to you. And those products become your real day-to-day gods. Tell me, can you live without your mobile? Honestly, please. I can't. Can you? But you can live without God for many years. So I'm a staunch Hindu, मैं तो इतनी पूजा पाठ करता हूँ, वहीं है सब कुछ, भगवान वहीं पे है, राइट? बोलो अरे मम्मी तुम्हारा वो फोन कहाँ गया? अरे कहाँ गया? यू नो आई हैव, लोग पूजा करते हैं और घंटी बजती है तो उठ के बात करने लगते हैं. Can you live without air conditioning? Tell me can you live without a button on your shirt? Tell me which aspect of technology can you live without? But you can live without God. You can live without love. So who's real God? Who's dictating your life? सब भगवान की इच्छा से होता है. लाइट चली गई, अब भगवान की इच्छा कहाँ है? सब ईश्वर चलाता है. ये बड़ी बड़ी बातें माइक लगा के करना बड़ा आसान होता है. It's very easy. And why do we do? देखिए आप सबको पता है कि आप हंस रहे हैं, इसका मतलब आपको भी पता है at the irony of life. But why do we believe in? अभी कोई बोल दे कि एक कोई बहुत बड़े साधु संत है, आपको इससे मतलब नहीं है कि वो झूठ बोलते हैं और वो उनका खुद का बिजनेस चल रहा है, दे आर कैपिटलिस्ट, यू डोंट केयर अबाउट दैट. मुझे अभी छोड़ के आप भाग जाएंगे. मैंने बड़ों बड़ों को, श्री अरबिंदो जैसे ग्रेट फिलोसफर्स को किनारे रख के इन साधु बाबाओं के पीछे भागते हुए देखा है. और मैं आपको आज एक ट्रूथ बताता हूं क्यों साधु बाबाओं के पीछे. आप सब जानते हैं, इन योर हार्ट ऑफ योर हार्ट, यू नो द साधुज एंड बाबाज, इवन यू गो टू देयर इवेंट्स, यू नो दे आर फूलिंग अस. You know they are leading you to superstition. You know that. When you are absolutely honest with yourself, you know what is going on in India right now. They ask you to detach yourself from materialistic world, and all of them, I know them personally. I am their guest at least 3, 4, 5 times in a year for a different reason. I have a business relationship with them. That's why they invite me. They benefit from me, I benefit from them, that's why I go there. But in your heart of your heart, you know they are as egoistic, as arrogant like any other politician. All of them have millions and millions and billions of rupees earned by making fool out of you. Ask them, any one of them, to talk what I am saying, to speak like Sri Aurobindo or talk like Jiddu Krishnamurti. India has given some great philosophers like Jiddu. In modern time, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Sri Aurobindo, they should be the real, if we have to believe in any god, those are the gods. And what have we done? We have converted them into books, left them in a library. And just now if I say some Baba who knows nothing about except for 5-6 श्लोक रट लेते हैं ये लोग, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं पता, और सैफरन कपड़े पहन के अभी कोई आ रहा, मैं आपको गारंटी करता हूं यहाँ 50 लोग आए हैं, वहां पे 5 लाख लोग इकट्ठे हो जाएंगे. I'll tell you why. Let me expose them. They expose the world, let me expose them. And this is a mirror to you, because there are so many questions in this world. Why do we love? Why are we violent? Why somebody is more successful? I am such a wonderful person. Why I am not finding peace? Why I have got an autistic child? There are 1 million answers. What is life? What is death? All these. If you go to Sri Aurobindo, you'll have to apply your mind. You'll have to make an effort to understand. And he's not giving you any answer in the end. He is just becoming a mirror, a reflection, a bouncing board. You have to find your own answer. If you read Swami Vivekananda, you have to find your own answer. Gita, you have to find your own answer. Gita is giving you no answer. Upanishad is giving you no answer. But all these Babas give you instant answers. And look at this. Nobody wants to cook. We want instant food. Isn't it? What sells more? Home cooked food or instant food? I'm a marketing person. Look at the statistics. 98 point something percent is processed packed food is selling in the market. Usse bhi shanti nahi milti. Fast food. In India, people are not even happy with fast food. So instant delivery of food. So instant delivery of food started. Okay, we'll deliver in 10 minutes. I said, are they crazy? How can they deliver in 10 minutes? They started delivering. Then people are not even happy with that. So they said now 8-minute delivery. And when I was leaving India, you know what? All the billboards, what are they saying? 6-minute delivery. मैंने कहा कहाँ ले जा रहे हो? One day मैं सोचूंगा उसके पहले deliver कर दोगे, तो जब तुम्हें खाना ही पड़ेगा. You don't have to think you have to eat this because I have delivered it to you. Oh, thank you, sir. And you eat it again. And then somebody says, I deliver more. So these sadhus and babas are destroying the great civilization of Hinduism. They are converting open source system into a closed source system. They are saying if you don't put bindi, you are not a Hindu woman. They say if you don't do this, you are not this. You have also grown up in the same India I have grown up in. मैंने तो कभी नहीं इतने सारे त्योहार मैं जानता ही नहीं था. मुझे मेजर त्योहार पता थे and I knew the festivals which were celebrated. गुजरातियों का अपना है, मराठियों का अपना है, बंगालियों का अपना है. ये थोड़ी कि गुजराती भी दुर्गा कर रहे हैं और वो भी कर रहे हैं. These days तो competition चल रहा है लोगों के बीच में कि कितने festivals हम लोग मनाएं. What are we trying to prove? Are we trying to prove? What are we trying to prove? I go to an intellectual event, people are saying Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. I'm sorry, आप पे कई लोग जाते होंगे. But their political speeches, people are saying Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. And then why did we have problem when somebody was saying Allahu Akbar? Hindus' biggest objection was that ये लोग Allahu Akbar बोलते हैं. Have we become enemy-centric? Are we trying to imitate enemies? When two people divorce or when they hate each other, they start behaving like each other. Because you want to show the enemy that, see, if you can do this, I can do better. Please don't mind it. It's a very big danger. All the great saints and rishis and souls, I can vouch, I can write in my blood. You read them. Go back, read Swami Vivekananda. Read Ramakrishna Paramhans. Read Upanishad. Read Upanishad, read Vedanta, read Advaita, read Sri Aurobindo. Read great people who have kept the light of Hinduism alive. Who brought Hindu philosophy or spiritualism to America? Not these sadhu babas. Vedanta Society, Mahesh Maharshi, Chinmayanand, the great philosopher, or at least nobody has explained Gita like him. Nobody has explained Patanjali Yoga better than Swami Vivekananda. These are the people who took Hindu philosophy and the greatness of Hinduism outside India. Who are the second ambassadors of Hinduism? Our musicians. Pandit Ravi Shankar. Ustad Zakir Hussain. Don't get offended by this name. आजकल तो ये हो गया है कि क्या बोलूं. तो आपने एक डिक्लाइन देखा है अपने सिविलाइजेशन का. आप सब जब बड़े हो रहे थे, जो भी anybody who is 40-50 year plus, every school had only statue of Saraswati. People used to gift Saraswati. There used to be Saraswati Vandana. Zakir Hussain के घर में गया था, सिर्फ सरस्वती की पूजा होती थी उनके घर में और किसी की नहीं. बिस्मिल्ला खान के मैं घर गया था, only सरस्वती की पूजा होती थी. As students, children in India were taught that Saraswati is the only goddess you have to worship. आज आपको सरस्वती का नाम लेने वाला कोई मिलेगा नहीं मेरे अलावा. सब किसकी पूजा करते हैं? दुर्गा और लक्ष्मी की. शक्ति, पावर एंड मनी. Where has that gone? We are creative people. We gave Natya Shastra to the world. Whatever is happening in this world today, you see on TV all the times, you see on WhatsApp, ये सब नाट्य तो चल रहा है. We gave rasa to the world, the concept of rasa. The real beauty of life is rasa. Tell me whether you are Hindu, Christian, Muslim, whoever you are, atheist. Can you live without rasa? You can live without anything. You can live without material stuff, but you cannot live without rasa. रस आप जानते हैं, जीवन में 9 रस होते हैं ना. रस, रस के बिना हम जो अभी बैठे हैं रस है. आप जो श्री अरविंदो की बात करें वो भी एक रस है. भक्ति रस, कुछ नहीं, शांत रस. मेडिटेशन इज शांत रस, विभत्स रस. तो ये जो रस है दुनिया का, हमने नाट्य शास्त्र दिया. वी आर द फर्स्ट पीपल. साहित्य वर्ड वॉज इन्वेंटेड बाय हिंदू सिविलाइजेशन इन कश्मीर. साहित्य, जिसको लिटरेचर अब सब बोलते हैं, साहित्य वर्ड, काव्य, दुनिया की जो साइंस, आयुर्वेदा, योगा. लेट मी टेल यू अबाउट योगा. व्हाट इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ योगा? The beauty of yoga is, look at this and your life will transform if you understand this. Modern science, I'm not against. Modern science is brilliant, human excellence. Modern science has evolved by cutting dead human bodies. And yoga and Ayurveda has evolved by observing living bodies. That is the fundamental difference. That is the fundamental difference. Without cutting anybody, you knew what mind does, what heart does, what stomach does. What is asana? Asana, the literal translation, is the most comfortable position. You have to be in an asana state in your life. Modern Western science क्या कहती है? Don't go into comfort. You are in your comfort zone. Break it. Isn't it, Arjun? The modern Western science says, get out of your comfort zone. Yoga says, go into your comfort zone. How will you create? How will you love if you are not in a comfort zone? You will always be outraged. But because industrialization took place here, they wanted obedient slaves. They always wanted them to be physically active. So they said, always be out of your comfort zone. If a labor who's making a machine gets into comfort zone, then how will you run industrialization or this capitalist movement? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the fundamental difference between Hindu philosophy, which has evolved by observing living people, behavior of plants, behavior of animals, trees, clouds, us in totality of this universe. And that's why we said we are the universe. Tumi Brahmano. Aham Brahmasmi. I am that universe, cosmos, which we talk about. So this is the fundamental difference, and I don't want it to die or perish or become weak. And I think all these people who are using a camera are propagating themselves, running billions of dollars of businesses out of your innocence, your ignorance. They are making fool out of you. It is your dharma right now to save Hinduism by not following them. At least asking somebody not to follow them and taking your children and everybody to Hindu philosophy. Tell me one of these, any of these can ever tell you something like this? That yoga evolved out of observing others. Can anybody tell you go in your comfort zone? क्यों meditate करते हैं? One of the reasons I like Sri Aurobindo, Vivekananda and all these people, because they have no rules. And you can go to Samadhi in Pondicherry and you can go in shorts, t-shirt, you can wear anything. I saw girls were moving in shorts and t-shirt recently. I was there a few days ago. Nobody has any objection. Somebody is standing, somebody is like this, somebody's eyes are open, somebody's eyes are not open. You can be anything, do anything. Nobody is restricting you. That is real freedom. These days you can't enter a temple if you are wearing a certain kind of clothes, not wearing certain kind of clothes. Everybody is into vulgar display of religion, and that's what is making us like Abrahamics, and which is a danger sign. Sorry, I never wanted to speak this, but you are good people. So what this comfort consciousness, tribal consciousness, I said, ego consciousness, I told you, civilizational, then we go to comfort consciousness. हाँ ठीक है यार, ट्राइब सही है, civilization वगैरह सब सही है, but primarily our comfort is everything, you know. So this is where what happens is then people start using this into converting into businesses, enterprises, economy, capitalism, and again ego takes over. Just few people, nothing wrong with comfort consciousness, wonderful thing. So many wonderful things, great things happen because of that. But then some people, again, like these sadhu babas, start using our dependence on the comfort, and then the whole power gets centralized with few people, and everybody else get exploited without knowing it. So again, we say, somebody else is controlling me, yaar. I am controlled. These days, ये veganism क्या है? This is trying to get out of control. Okay, all these protests you see, people are protesting about everything. This is coming with the sense that I'm being controlled by somebody else. Why in the West people are moving towards yoga, spirituality, Ayurveda? आप लोग भी खरीदते होगे उस तरह के products. मैं भी आया है, मैंने कहा मुझे जीरे और सौंफ का बना दो पानी. Because somewhere in my mind I think I'm being controlled by these pharmaceutical companies. जरा सा कुछ हुआ, aspirin ले लो, Tylenol ले लो, ये ले लो, वो ले लो. So I also feel subconsciously, it's not that I'm doing consciously, मैंने मुझे घर की खिचड़ी बना दो, नहीं तो वही pizza खा लो, ये खा लो. So you want to get out of it. Why people are saying walk, walk, walk? Because we are always sitting in the car. Then interpersonal. So somewhere we realize, so you move from there to humanity consciousness. Okay? And most of the world has evolved only till this place. Most of means, so in this what happens is, that first thing you learn is about caring consciousness, right? You know that without caring for others, it's not possible to enjoy humanity to its fullest. You cannot enjoy your own human existence if you don't care for others. You have to care for others. Then you understand that it's very important to be healthy. So people who do a lot of healthy stuff, you must have seen people are running, doing jogging, investing in health. That is health consciousness. You are concerned about your health and you are taking good care of your body. So this is because who are we? Where do we live? This is our home. So you cannot abuse your body all the times, drinking and partying and smoking, eating bad, oily food. You realize that ultimately is going to make me weak and I need energy. So you have to take good care of your health. Then you also understand that it's very important that human rights, okay, free speech, it's a human right. Equality is human right. You don't want to be discriminated. You don't want to be औरंगजेब था, किसी को भी उठा के लटका दिया फांसी पे. You don't want that. So you want rights, right to life, right to truth, right to justice, empathy. Then you also say, no, we have to preserve cultures. A lot of people must be saying, we have to preserve Hindu culture, we have to preserve this culture, or Islamic culture for that matter. They have, Islamic culture also has some brilliant, beautiful things. I mean, such beautiful calligraphy, such beautiful painting, such beautiful architecture. They have Islamic, so just don't get put off Islamic, how many percent? That is tribal consciousness. Being able to appreciate good things from everywhere is humanity consciousness. And rejecting anything which is not good for humanity, including your parents' advices, is also good consciousness, to be in a good state. Leave all things which are not useful. Dustbin mein to fenkte hi hain ghar ki cheezein. Don't gather everything. Stuff, all the times gathering. उस दिन वो स्वामी जी बोल रहे थे मुझसे, when you come to New Jersey, there are huge storages outside. So I said, what are these storages all about? He said, people, when your house fills up, when your basement fills up, when your garage fills up, and you have no place to keep your stuff, so you rent space over there and you put stuff over there. Don't become like that. So इसलिए हिंदू कल्चर में है क्लीनिंग ऑफ द हाउस ऑल द टाइम्स, एवरी त्योहार. इन आई डोंट नो यहाँ होता है कि नहीं, वहां पे तो मैंने देखा सारी औरतें जो है, होली घर सफाई करो, ये सफाई करो. They'll go to a child's room, अलमारी खोलेंगी. यहाँ पे तो नहीं बोल सकते बच्चों को, वहां तो मार भी सकते हैं. तो क्या ये सब रखा है पुराना 10 साल से पहले, फेंको 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 फेंको. तो mothers do that in India. Then in humanity consciousness, what you also find is that it's not that this is not an anthropocentric world. Anthropocentric world is a scientific term. It means when you think that the whole world is created for human beings, anthro. So हमारे लिए सब बना है, that is anthropocentric, means every human beings are at the center. You say no, we have to save species, we have to save animals, we have to save birds, we have to save fish. Again, I'll bring you why I say Hindu philosophy is the Hindu culture, Hindu traditions are the most progressive and scientific. हमारा क्या है? We feed animals. हम लोग बरगद की पूजा करते हैं, आप यूपी नहीं, बड़ की पूजा होती है. क्यों करते हैं बड़ की पूजा? इट्स अ सिंबॉलिक थिंग, बट इट एक्चुअली इज यू टेक केयर ऑफ ट्रीज. तो ट्री के ऊपर ऐसा सैफरन लाल धागा बांध दिया, तो अब पीपल विल स्टार्ट टेकिंग केयर, जाके पानी चढ़ा देंगे, कुछ कर देंगे, धूप देंगे एंड ऑल दैट. ठीक है, एवरीबडी इज नॉट इवॉल्व, एवरीबडी डजंट हैव टू बी. देखो एक मजदूर है, फार्मर है, उसने कहा यहाँ लाल धागा बना है, चलो यहाँ मैं पानी डाल देता हूँ, तो एटलीस्ट ही वोंट पी ओवर देयर, एटलीस्ट इतना तो करेगा. सो तो वी स्टार्ट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ सॉइल. हम धरती की पूजा करने लगते हैं. हमने बोला ये धरती माँ है. आप बताइए हु एल्स सेज कि धरती माँ है, राइट? तो हम धरती की पूजा करने लगते हैं. हम कोई जब नया अन्न निकलता है तो उसकी पूजा कर लेते हैं, भाई ठीक है. सो बाय एडिंग दीज रिलीजियस rituals and metaphors around that, our whole bigger concept was, the rishis who I call scientists, the bigger concept was to take care of this earth. So we, Hindu consciousness is the only consciousness which basically is pro earth, pro humanity, pro universe, pro Brahman, pro cosmos. In Christianity they don't talk about cosmos. It's not that Christianity doesn't have, it's brilliant, some amazing stuff they have. Islam has some very good things, but all these are based on sin and punishment. Their basic belief is that human beings are born sinners. You're a born sinner, and religion is going to make you a good person. That's why they talk so much about empathy, 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 forgiveness, empathy, forgiveness all the time, because they say you are a sinner, forgive, so empathy will come. That's why you say Jesus Christ is in such an compassion, it's such a daya eye, is tarah se unka hai. In Islam they don't show any face, faceless. Uska reason ye hai because there is a kind of a idea of creating fear, so that you, these are all tribal civilizations, so that there's a fear, and you, out of fear you stay together as a tribe. In our case what happens, Nachiket जरा सा बच्चा है, कहते हैं go and discover yourself. वो जाके he asks the death of God, oh sorry, God of death. He questions him. वो उसको जवाब देता है, कहता है बड़ी बड़ी बातें बताता, कहता है this is not enough what you are telling me. You don't know. I want to know what is life, what is death. So many questions, 3-4 questions he asks. So, but also what happens is, when humanity consciousness also, you don't get rid of ego. See, in all consciousness I am showing you how it's a good thing for some time, then ego comes in. Here also people who are saying save animals, save tiger, or save dogs in India, say for example, suddenly they develop ego and they think they're superior to others. So the person who is not saving dog is inferior, I am superior. Somebody who is not holding save humanity or human rights at Times Square feels I am superior and you are not superior. So again ego comes in. Then human rights organizations become political organizations. Then people start using advantage of all those things. Then your humanity is exploited to somebody's advantage. कंपैशन, एम्पैथी, एम्पैथी के नाम पे कितना लोग चंदा मांगते हैं देखिए इस दुनिया में. वो पैसा कहाँ जाता है आपको पता भी नहीं है. मैं अमेरिका में देखता हूँ, राइट, हर दुकान पे एक डोनेशन बॉक्स है, इसके नाम पे चैरिटी, उसके नाम पे चैरिटी, इसके नाम पे चैरिटी. मैं कहता हूँ जब अमेरिका एंटर करता है कोई, तभी लगा दो एक फिक्स, खत्म, चैरिटी एंड एवरीथिंग इज ओवर. बट कोई ये नहीं बोलता है ओके जस्ट गिव मनी बिकॉज वी आर एन एनजीओ, वी हैव टू रन अवर कंपनी. इट्स अ बिजनेस मॉडल. Who tells you? So every penny you give out of charity, do you realize that 80% goes into running the logistics and administration of that NGO? They are flying from here to Africa, okay, to do empathy work, and you are paying for it. Do you realize that? A lot of money goes into spreading religion, missionaries, converting people. So anyway, so again humanity, people use, अच्छा ठीक है, ये जो लोग हैं, they believe in empathy, so let me sell empathy to them and let's make money out of that. That's the problem. Some singer will start singing songs, okay, and you'll buy lots of albums. Wow, We Are the World, क्या गाना गाया. All of them became billionaires after that song, We Are the World, and we are crying listening to, देखो माइकल जैक्सन कितना बेचारा दुखी है, you know. So anyway, अब मैं काम की बात पे आता हूँ. मैंने बहुत बोल लिया, आप लोगों को तंग कर दिया, इससे ज्यादा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. मैं बोलता नहीं इतना, but I'm loving it because I also don't get this opportunity to share my inner thoughts. यहाँ तक जितनी भी consciousness है, whichever consciousness we talk about, including religion, democracy, and science. I'm including science also. Everything in the world tells you one thing. And what is the concept of excellence? Dream big. How big? What is the one line which is used all across the globe? Sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. Okay. Now I am going to talk what I discovered which changed my life is a consciousness which says, you are the sky. Limitless. There is no limit. There is a very big scam when somebody is saying sky is the limit. He still wants to create limits for you. When you say sky is the limit, in a very sophisticated, poetic, subtle way, he is saying don't go in the basement, there is a ghost there. This is your limit. You can't go to the basement, this is the limit. Nobody is saying go beyond the sky. So I say you are the sky. When we say somebody is going in the space, where are we going? We are in the space. Oh, that person is gone in the space. Where is the space? We are in the space. Earth is in the space. Don't you know that? Basic common sense. You are the space. Where is the space? Where is space? The space is between her and me, between you and me. Where is the? We are the space. Space is inside us. We are in the space. So if I say we are the universe, we are the Brahman, what's wrong with that? I mean, what is Brahman? Brahman is a collection of all these objects in the world. That is Brahman. So this chair sitting on, this, you say this is a chair, I'm saying it's a tree. Because it is a tree. You just cut it off, you gave it a shape and a name and a label. So you are saying it's a chair. You have changed the definition and you want me to believe it. This is tree. Ask a tree, what is this? Say, part of me. Ask this, who are you? I say, I'm tree. So you are Brahman and Brahman is this. Tree is chair, chair is tree. You understand what I'm saying? Tell me which other philosophy talks like this. Only one philosophy talks like this, science. In planetarium, they say, you live in universe, universe lives inside you. So I call it creative consciousness. I am not evolved like Sri Aurobindo, I can't talk about divine consciousness. But I found a way to live very peacefully and which has really changed my life, transformed my life. And I actually believe I'm the sky, so I am in no competition with anyone. That's why all the products I have created, films I have created, have no reference point. Nothing like that has been created before in anywhere in the world in cinema. Nothing after that has been created like that. Even I don't create the same thing again. And that happened because I am in constant creative consciousness. It's not that sometimes I'm not. We see, and it's not necessary consciousness. Look, ऐसा ना कोई distance कहीं है चल के जाओ एक destination है you'll find consciousness which very few people have been able to reach. You are conscious. Consciousness is not separate from us. Again, the same mistake we make. See, the difference between East and West is that in the West they believe in dualism. They say mind and body. They separate mind from body. As if mind is a separate entity, body is a separate entity. They separate everything. They created East and West. हमारे यहाँ तो कभी नहीं लिखा कहीं पे कि West अलग जगह है. They started saying East, West, North, South. That's why directions also here all the time North, South, East, West. This is called catalogic thinking, which means you put everything into catalog. When you came from India to here, you must have realized one thing, that here they immediately start putting things in files and catalogs and systematic, and they say you belong here, you belong here, you belong here, this thing belongs here. हमारे यहाँ सब कुछ नहीं है, सब चलता है, यानी cousin भी भाई है और कोई पड़ोसी का बच्चा भी भाई है, किसी पड़ोसी है वो भी आपकी चाची है, मौसी है, हमारे ऐसा कैटलॉगिक थिंकिंग नहीं है. So creative consciousness is not as complicated others. It is based only on one thing. And that is 3 words. Okay? There are 2 kinds of 3 words which can really, really change your world. And they are the simplest words. One is, I love you. Nobody has been able to change these 3 words. In the history, entire history, from Kalidasa's poetry till now, modern films, I love you. These have kept us together. The reason humans have survived together is because of three words, I love you. And the reason that we are not living in ice age or fire age or tribal age, or we are not sitting around few rocks with fire and eating raw flesh, is again because of three words. Whatever we have, whatever you have, whatever you can possibly think of, every single thing you possess or you want to possess or want to have, you enjoy, anything gives you beauty, anything gives you enlightenment, anything whichever is created by humans has come out of three words. I don't know. What is beyond those mountains? I don't know. Therefore, I should go and find. Once you reach there, you discover something, then you say, what is beyond this? I don't know. What is the meaning of this? I don't know. Anybody who tells you, I know, बाबा जी बताइए इसका क्या इलाज है, क्या करें इसका, ये लो 3 4 6 5 ये नंबर 4 बार बोला करो दिन में, तालियां 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 तालियां. There is one बाबा जी in India who लोगों का कैंसर ठीक करते हैं, वो चिट्ठियां लिख लिख के. पुरानी मानिएगा, कुछ अगर फॉलोअर्स हैं, माने तो अच्छी बात है. He is so popular, at least 1 or 2 million people are present in his sabhas all the times. All the times. He writes parches. He'll look at you and say, this is your problem. This is what I have already written in some kind of mentalism, the science of mentalism. And cancer ठीक कर देते हैं, इसका कैंसर ठीक, उसका कैंसर ठीक है. For last 5 years, he is just curing cancer of people. And recently, rich, filthy rich, they go in Rolls Royce, chartered planes and all those kind of things. Just few months ago, he opened up his cancer hospital. Prime Minister inaugurated it. Now my question is, अगर आप इतना कैंसर ठीक करते हो तो कैंसर हॉस्पिटल क्यों खोल रहे हो? Because that was also business, this is also business. They made money there, they will make money here. So these are hyper capitalists in a different form. Because religion is our weakness right now at this moment in India, therefore they are exploiting it. Simple. You start talking about science, somebody else will start selling science. So conversations are important. Why I agreed to come here. Okay, and I came out of my own will. I went to Aurobindo Ashram first, then I spent time in Auroville. And why I am doing this? Because now my film is over, so I've committed myself to doing this, as much as I think it's my dharma to create awareness, to make awaken people and tell them that you belong to a great heritage, and it's very, very important to understand what is that heritage. Your heritage is not wearing saffron clothes and saying Jai Shri Ram. Say Jai Shri Ram, but that should be a private matter. You should not make it a war of togetherness. Don't do that. That will provoke people. You are doing everything anti-Hindu. हम लोग दिल तोड़ने का काम नहीं, दिल जोड़ने के लिए इस दुनिया में आए हैं. हमें दिलों को जोड़ने का काम करना है. और वो भी नहीं, हम सब जो हिंदुस्तान में पैदा हुआ है वो ब्रह्मांड है. ब्राह्मण नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, ब्रह्मांड बोल रहा हूँ. Our job is basically to create oneness. Entire Hinduism, जो आप वेद और उपनिषद बोलते हो, वो है क्या? The whole concept is oneness. Shiva is about oneness. Sri Aurobindo is about oneness. All this is about oneness. What has Vivekananda said? Oneness. What has Krishna said? Oneness. All our philosophy is about oneness. We believe in the concept of oneness. Don't divide it into parts. Ultimately, who will be a damaged good? You. So, creative consciousness. Now, I am going to close here. In the end, I'll tell you what is creative consciousness. How I discovered my God. There is creator and there is created. There is creation. There is creator and this is creation. This is a Western style of thinking. There is a creator who created everything, who creates everything. Then the question will arise, who created the creator? You cannot have a convenient thing कि हाँ भाई ये कोई creator है, उसके आगे हमें पता नहीं. So you don't know who created the creator. Let's go and find out. No, you can't find out. It's against Christianity. It's against this thing. It's against my religion. It's against this thing. You can't do that. Okay. So I discovered that the two biggest gifts of God to human beings, what makes us different from animals, is animals also have, so one common gift to everybody and one very rare gift to humans. One is the gift of breathing. Because we breathe, so we live. You stop breathing, there is nothing. There is no God, no civilization, no lecture baji, nothing. Everything is over. So breathing. Understanding the breath really opens many doors to happiness and peace. This is what I have discovered. I am not saying do this or this, I am not saying. Just understand breathing. Understand the value of breathing. Understand the dignity of breathing. Understand the preciousness of breathing. That itself makes you very, very conscious of yourself, takes you to a totally different consciousness. It separates you from all the sufferings in the world. Now you focus on yourself. You say, if I don't breathe, I will die. It doesn't matter whether samne wala Allah Akbar bol raha hai, Jai Shri Ram bol raha hai. If I don't breathe, so I have to protect my breathing. That takes you inwards. That is one thing I learned. Second biggest gift, which is given only to human beings and all the human beings of the world, irrespective of what they believe in, is the power of imagination. Only we can imagine. जिसको creative बोलते हैं. People who imagine, write poetry, literature, theatre, cinema, people generally call them creative. But all of us are born with that. 10 मिनट है ना पक्का आप लोग को चलेगा 10 मिनट में I'm concluding, so I'm taking it to in a certain place. NASA, just to prove my point, NASA conducted a study. आप गूगल में चेक करना, मैं शॉर्ट में बताऊंगा, आप डिटेल में पढ़ लेना जाके घर पे. NASA conducted a study. They said, why don't we mentor children from right the age of 5 years when they go to school, when they start school? So they said, okay. They created a amazingly scientifically brilliant research, and they said, let's identify creative genius amongst those 5-year-old children. So they picked up a sample of 20,000 or what numbers don't, I mean, I'm forgetting, but yes, huge number at that time. So they interviewed them and they studied them over a period of time. You know what they discovered? That 98% children in that age group of 5 were creative genius, had motor problems, coordination problems, autism, some kind of problems. They also had, but they were not creative genius because they couldn't perform things, couldn't do things, couldn't write, etc., etc. So that is fine. So almost 100% children were creative. That they said, okay, now let's study them when they're 10 years old. When they were 10 years old, I have a statistics, but I'll give you rounded figures. So when they were 10 years old, they found that now only 33% students were creative genius, rest were duffers. They were good for obeying, loyal, bhago, bhag gaye, ye kar liya. They were very good for industry, good for administration, government job. They became part of the template, the system, structure. But 33% students at the age of 10 were creative genius, which means they could invent, they could think, they could look at the world the way humans are supposed to look at. That's why we are born. Our biggest dharma is to imagine and therefore do something which animals can't do, like discovery of the universe, of the black hole, creating button, creating all pen, creating this camera, creating this. That's why we are on this earth, taking care of animals. Do you know human beings? Any animal can kill human beings, but human beings are the ones who take care of all the animals in the world. Almost all the animals of the world. We treat them, we have medicines for them, we treat trees, we stop floods. We do amazing stuff. Who are doing it? But so 33%. Then they said, okay, now let's study the same batch of students when they are 15-year-old. At the age of 15, only 13%, 13% remained creative genius. And then the last fourth stage they did when they were 20-year-old. Now guess what was the number?
Less than one.
2% were creative genius, 98% were duffers, all of them joined IT industry. Sorry, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean that. But please, मेरा मतलब ये था कि all of them ultimately ended up doing jobs. And the biggest requirement of any job in corporate or government is that you can't imagine. The minute you imagine, you are out, you are fired. Who can imagine? You can't, you are not allowed to create or imagine. Huh?
Think out of the box.
That is the biggest scam. Out of the box is a very big scam. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because thinking out of the box का मतलब ये होता है, for some time sit in a meeting, think out of the box, but go back into that box. Or get out of this box, get into another box. You have to get inside the box. So I created a theory which is called box and bubble theory. I said, get out of the box and do what? I said, be like a bubble. When two bubbles meet, what happens? They become one bigger bubble. Bubbles are round. Boxes are edgy, sharp. If you hit them, you'll get hurt. But bubbles are transparent. They are not opaque. They are transparent. They have more bubbles, bigger bubble. More bubbles, bigger bubble. Anyway, that's another thing. So, only 2% remain creative genius. This is what the world does to you. This is what religion does to you. If any religion which is not making you help you imagine is not a true human religion. A child, now I'll ask you introspect after what I am saying. Please delete whatever I have said. Forget whatever I have said. If you remember what I have said, means you are doing injustice to what I am saying. Don't carry me back. That is baggage. What I have said is a dead information. And if you start quoting me somewhere else, you are window shopping. आज वहाँ गए थे, बड़ा अच्छा एक वहाँ पे चीज लगी थी यार, खरीदेंगे. You have not bought. You have not created the potential to buy it. You have just created the potential to appreciate something which is on display. So I want display. Don't see it. Create your own potential. So let me ask you a question. Let me take you to childhood. Just close your eyes or don't close your eyes. Think when you were a young child, 4 or 5 years old. और आपकी माँ ने या पिताजी ने मार के आपको कमरे में बंद कर दिया. अब आप क्या करते थे? 5 मिनट रोए. You would cry for 5 minutes. And then slowly you'll pick up something. You'll put it, you'll imagine, you'll put another thing. You'll take something, start drawing on without caring where you are drawing. You start creating a world in your mind. You'll create a universe. You'll have imaginary friends. You'll have imaginary this. You'll create something in your mind, a story, a world. You start talking. Have you seen small children? They sit and they talk to somebody. There's nobody over there. That is God. That is where we should be. That is what the society and education kills. This is what NASA has proved. So, what is creative consciousness? It's neither the creator, it's not the creation. Very often you will say, people say, जो लोग गाना गाते हैं, जो डांस करते हैं, पेंटिंग करते हैं, they are very creative people. They are not creative people. They are skilled people. Music has 7 notes. Anybody can learn it. What's the big deal? People do learn. Painting, you go to painting school and you learn how to paint. Dance, you go to a teacher and you learn how to teach. That is not creativity, it's a skill. That is art. Art is not creativity. Art is part of creative expression. Science is also creativity. Mothering is also creativity. Being in love and being married is creativity. A carpenter who's making a good chair is creativity. Every single thing is creativity. Driving a car and just getting lost in your thoughts is also creativity. When you look at the landscape, when you are sitting in the car, then you are outside the landscape. You are observing it from outside, you are judging it. Leave the car, start walking in the landscape. You become landscape. When somebody is seeing you from his car, then you are part of the landscape. You are the landscape. That is creativity. So I have come to learn and understand, this is my journey, that all of us are born with creative consciousness, which I call the God consciousness, divine consciousness. That's where the God lives. And that is neither creator nor creation. That is the process of creativity. A river, you never step in the same river twice. And it's dynamic. It's flowing all the time. Right? Time. You are never in the same time twice. Love. You are never in the same love twice. It's a process. So it's the process, being in that process of imagination, whatever you do, that process itself is so divine, makes you so happy, and it cuts you off from the entire world. You are not judgmental. Why do you have to be judgmental? A carpenter making a nice chair, you can't be judgmental about it. Somebody is doing prayer, is in worship, is sitting. It's such a beautiful process. You go, somebody is ill and you go and help that person, you do service. It's when you do service, seva. Okay, it's a good process. When you are cooking, it's a great process. When I'm talking to you, we are interacting right now, it's a process. But once it ends, you can't carry it. Then you record it, tape it, yes, we do all those kind of things. Then it becomes the creation. And then we start worshipping the creation like Buddha. Buddha was a process. I told you, so many Buddhas, it was a process of Buddhism. But we picked up the last one because we remember the last one. He said the last word, so he became the main Buddha. And we made God out of him, and we again started window shopping. We became second-hand citizens. That's why we are so dehydrated. That's why our society is so dehydrated. That we want to latch on to somebody. Oh, this leader, he'll save me. Some people are saying, no, he'll destroy. Some are saying, he will save me. And these people are fighting and killing each other, and they are hating each other. What have you gained? In India, since 2014, count on your fingers, have you gained more friends or have you lost more friends? Have you gained more relatives or have you lost more relatives? Answer would be yes, we have lost more, which means you are not in creative consciousness. There is something not right somewhere. So I found my solace, my happiness, my peace in creative consciousness. Though I make movies, but if you look at my movies, there is a very strong spiritual connect over there, and it is coming from this because I am non-stop, I am involved in this process. And this process itself is about I don't know. I seriously don't know. So when he said we are seekers, you are seeker not just by saying I am a Hindu, so I am born seeker. It's not your right. It's not your entitlement. Anybody who says I know, anybody who has answers is not a seeker. So this is what I just had to say. Indic Renaissance means not the Renaissance of India. It means the Renaissance of values which were invented, created on this land called India. Indic Renaissance means the rejuvenation, reinforcement, or reconstruction of all those thought processes, values, methodologies, techniques, traditions, which basically take us towards oneness. Now, I'll tell you the last part of this very quickly. I'm not a worshipper, but I greatly believe in the concept of Shiva. I'm saying concept of Shiva, I'm not using the word God, because the minute you say God, then you are killing the concept of Shiva. Then Shiva is dead. We talk about balance. What is balance in Indic terms? हमारे यहाँ एक कॉन्सेप्ट है शिव और शक्ति का. Shakti means power. Shiv word comes from the word shav. Means shav state. Means being in a state of dead body. That's why yogi, adi yogi बोलने लगे आजकल, but basically means somebody who's in a state of like a dead body. वही बुद्धा ने वही सब, देखिए सारी दुनिया जो है वहीं से शुरू हुई है, ओरिजिन, और वहीं से फिर उसको अलग अलग तरह से इंटरप्रेट किया गया है. So you cannot live in shav state. And if you go after Shakti, then you are getting into ego state all the time. Shakti, politicians, they are constantly in ego state. The problem, pros and cons of both. The cons of being in the Shakti state is that you lose your Shav state. Shav state means freedom. So Shiva is freedom. Shiva is the ultimate form of freedom. So Shav freedom. If you have only freedom, then you are in a Shav state, dead state. You are free. आपको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता क्या चल रहा है क्या नहीं चल रहा है. That's why we said Ardhanarishwar. That is the perfect balance of the world. When you have Shakti, which helps you rise your Shav state. Shakti is used for Shav state, and Shav state which gives strength to Shakti. That state is actually the most ideal state, and that, according to Indic values, Indic philosophy, is the state of process of creativity. The minute you separate them, then one is creator and one is the creation. And that's where all the conflict comes. One is God and one is the worshipper. One creates and we are the created. So one is superior, one is inferior. This is where you become God. This is where Tattvamasi lies. This is where Aham Brahmasmi lies. This is where you are Brahman, because you are the perfect balance. Brahman is the perfect balance. Universe is the perfect balance. For billions of years, everything is there without doing anything, silently. It's expanding non-stop, right? But we are in conflict. Universe is not in conflict. We are in conflict because we are always east versus west, creator versus created, parents versus children, government versus citizens. We are always into some kind of hierarchical distinction. Only when you meet. And the last thing I'll tell you, what I have learned, which actually took me towards this path of creative consciousness and therefore Indic Renaissance. Renaissance means जागृति, कुछ नया पुनर्जन्म. और पुनर्जन्म जो है वो शिवा के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है. Shiva is a god of construction and destruction, constant. You go to CERN. CERN is the nuclear physics laboratory in Switzerland, world's the highest scientific laboratory. और उसके सामने जब घुसते हैं तो बहुत बड़ा एक शिवा का वहां पे स्टैचू है. शिवा इन कॉस्मिक डांस, तांडव नृत्य जिसको बोलते हैं. वो इसलिए है बिकॉज सिंबॉलिकली, एंड द नोबेल प्राइज फिजिसिस्ट्स हैव रिटन अबाउट इट, सो इट्स नॉट माय ओरिजिनल आइडिया. It is because when you're studying a particle in quantum physics, when you study the quanta in those big, huge, miles long, अगर कोई scientist हो तो जानता होगा, so they make these pipes where they study a particle. So when you see the particle, it's not there. And when it's not there, it is there. When it is static, it is dynamic. When it is dynamic, it is static. That is what quantum physics is all about. And what is thousands of years ago, how we visualize Shiva, we said in Tanam Nritya, when Shiva is there, he is not there. When he is not there, when he is there. When Shiva is doing dance like mad, then he is in his most meditative state. When he is sitting idle, then he is in his most outrageous state. So when static exactly matches quantum physics, and that's why the Nobel Prize winners, Bohr, and so many people, the Tao of physics, Fritjof Capra, all these people, Einstein, all these people have written about this concept of Shiva. That is the kind of philosophy we belong to. 5,000 years in metaphorically what we have said, science is discovering now. That's why I say when science has no answers, that's where Indic philosophy begins. Because that is the only philosophy which says, I don't know. If we had known, we would have said, Shiva is in static position. Acha, you know he's in static, but he's dynamic right now. You say, Shiva, I know you are sitting in Shant Mudra. Shiva says, Acha, लो बेटा मैं तो नाच रहा हूं. तो ये जो एक क्वालिटी है, it forces you, the beginning, Shiva, आप सब जानते हैं, बाकी सब अवतार हैं. शिवा से ही सब शुरू है, शिवा से ही सब अंत है. तो शिवा की जब स्टेट को आप समझ लेते हैं, then you understand that nothing in this world is permanent and nothing is temporary. Why does Shiva has the third eye? And that answers all the political questions, because in the end, I am a filmmaker, I give you a practical solution. Your right eye sees the left. You know, the right eye, whatever right eye sees goes to your left brain. And what your left eye sees goes to your right brain. It's a science. You can't deny it. When you go for testing your lenses next time, ask the doctor. So therefore, in advertising, you will find that all the pictures, when there is a 2-page ad in a magazine, all the pictures are always on the left-hand side and the written matter is on the right-hand side. Because when you see on the right, it goes to your logical brain. When you see pictures which are visual imagery, it goes to your right brain. Correct? So therefore, human beings are compelled to some, we say, acha, are you a left brain or right brain? There are so many tests. If you see this horse going backward, then you are right brain. If you see it going forward, you are left brain. All these internet tests and all that. Human beings are born to divide things into left and right thinking. Left brain logical. Husband बोलेगा अच्छा ये कहाँ जाना है, फट से map shape and all that and all that. And when right brain women, which is a great quality, they are artists, they are creative people. When they are driving, you say left, they may turn right, because they are forced by their right brain, which is thinking in terms of visuals. Right? You give them a visual, they will immediately understand. Husband will fail to understand. If you talk in abstract language, they'll say, Acha, you don't give me time these days. Husband will say, what do you mean by time? I'm sitting with you, I'm giving you time. She'll say, no, you don't understand. Yes, because left and right brain are not being able to understand. Politics, left politics versus right politics. The minute I say politics, you go into tribal consciousness. That leftists are like this, leftists will say right are this thing. Everybody is abusing each other, you want to kill each other. That's why this world needs Indic Renaissance, which means we need Shiva. Only Shiva in creative imagination has the third eye. What is the third eye? When left and right come in the center, then you have the third eye. When Shiva opens the third eye, then everything is destroyed, all the evils and demons and Rakshasas are destroyed. Then there is light. Then only there is light. And I believe if conflict is the problem of this world, the answer is Shiva's third eye. And that to me is Indic Renaissance. Thank you, Dhanyavad.
Here, whenever we do program, it's always the speaker, whatever time he wants to take, he talks. There is no time limit.
अब 10,000 मील से आया हूँ तो कुछ तो वसूलूंगा.
We never have that kind of idea कि अच्छा 10 मिनट बोलना है, जब तक बोलना है आप बोलो. And
एक सेकंड, मैंने अभी खत्म नहीं किया. And so Vivek ji met me 2 years ago. He just came to my house, my office with his wonderful wife, and he told me, तो मैंने भी कहा भाई ठीक है, बहुत लोग बोलते हैं. He said that one thing I want to do is I want to take the message of Sri Aurobindo to the world and to the younger population. And I've just finished a film on Bengal, so it's about Vande Mataram movement and all those things. So we aligned at that level. And I also think it's very, very important. We all talk about dharma. If dharma is going to Bab's temple, it's fine, it's wonderful, but dharma doesn't end there. If you have listened to me, if we talk about Indic Renaissance, if you talk about divine consciousness, if you want to talk about supernatural, then I think it is our duty. As an American citizen, in America they say duty, in India we say dharma. It is very important that we invest in our younger generation. And they are not going to read books. Movies are modern literature. We made a very small budget film called The Tashkent Files. It went on to become a blockbuster. And it opened up eyes of so many people. The Kashmir Files, we made very small budget film. Small I'm saying in Indian terms because they make very expensive films. And a 25-30 crore rupee film made 350 crore rupees because of your love. I have now made the Bengal Files. It's going to come in September this year. It's about Bengal. You'll see what we have lost. The greatest of... There are only two places in the entire world where the real cultural renaissance took place. One is France, second is Bengal. Science. All the Nobel Prizes we won science from Bengal. Literature, Bengal, Tagore. Botany, philosophy, Vedanta, Hindu philosophy, Ramakrishna Paramahans, Dayanand Saraswati, Hare Rama Hare Krishna movement, entire the Bengal. Music, literature, cinema, Satyajit Ray, Mrinal Ghosh, Ritu Ghatak, all the great music you love of R.D. Burman, S.D. Burman, Dam Maro Dam and all those songs, sab dance karte hain. Whereas some of the best chefs in the world have come from Bengal. Nationalism, Vande Mataram, Jan Gan Man have come from there. So I have made the film so the younger generation knows what we have lost, what we are making out of Bengal. We are it's become another Kashmir. I am telling you, Kashmir में कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. Bengal is going to explode in next 15-20 years. Trust me, you will cry कि अरे तब बोला था विवेक ने, हमने सुना नहीं. आप mark my words, ना बन जाए. मैं 2 साल से कह रहा हूँ, हुआ मुर्शिदाबाद में कि नहीं अभी, आप देखना क्या होने वाला है. So कुछ चीजें करनी चाहिए. I am investing my time, energy, everything into creating that awareness. That part I have done. I have mentored 10-15 young filmmakers, so they are going to make those kind of films. Now I want to take great Hindu philosophy. I want to take lives of great Hindu people and make them into these fascinating films. So when he came and he said we should do something about Vande Mataram, at that time I heard him, I appreciated the idea, but perhaps I was not ready. So this time I was coming here, he said आइए कुछ आप यहाँ पे हमारे यहाँ लोगों से बातचीत करिए. मैंने कहा I have to be first ready. So I went to Aurobindo आश्रम और वहाँ आलोक जी थे, आप लोग जानते होंगे. तो मैं वहाँ पे 2 दिन कुछ नहीं किया. मैंने I had no agenda, nothing. I just sat there, मैं अपना मेडिटेट करता रहा अपनी स्टाइल में, वहीं बैठ के आश्रम में समाधि पे. फिर मैं वहाँ गया मदर के यहाँ, वो जो बड़ा मातृ मंदिर गया, वहाँ पे I spent time. They were nice to me, so they gave me double time or some time like that. I saw all the creativity over there. And मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मुझे ऐसा आदेश दिया गया कि I must do this. Wow. And I have no reason, no materialistic reason to make this film. If you calculate my career in typical worldly words, everybody said पागल हो गए हो क्या, ये बेसमेंट में 50 लोग के सामने बैठ के ऐसी बात कर रहे हो, क्यों कर रहे हो, क्या, कौन, who cares about these people, कौन सुनना चाहता है आजकल ऐसे इंटेलेक्चुअल्स को, फिलोसोफर्स को. पर मेरे लिए जिंदगी वेस्ट हो जाएगी. ये धर्म की बातें करना बड़ा आसान होता है, पर धर्म का काम करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. और मैं उन लोगों में से नहीं हूँ कि मंदिर में जाके मैं 1000 रुपए चढ़ा के खुश हो जाऊं कि मेरा काम हो गया. तो मेरे को ना तो मैं गिल्ट रिडन हूं, ना मुझे गिल्ट फ्री होना है. बट आई थिंक दैट यू ओ इट टू योर चिल्ड्रन. इस फिल्म के लिए nobody is going to give money, no studio is going to invest even 1 penny. कोई नहीं करने वाला है. ये काम हम लोगों को करना पड़ेगा. And I am not saying that you have to give money for that. I'm not American style filmmaker की अभी पैसे आपसे लेके मांगने लगूं. I am not like that. लेकिन मैंने ये देखा है कलेक्टिव कॉन्शियसनेस की ताकत होती है. अगर हम सब लोग यहाँ बैठ के डिसाइड कर लें कि ये काम होना ही है, तो आप सब इसके ट्रस्टी बन सकते हैं, आप सब इसके कल्चरल शेयर होल्डर बन सकते हैं. बाकी ये बताएंगे आप किसी भी लेवल पे यू कैन बिकम पार्ट ऑफ इट. और कुछ नहीं तो मैं अब आपको एक अमेरिकन स्टाइल में एक बात बताता हूं, और उसके बाद भी अगर आपका दिल नहीं बदला तो फिर सॉरी, फिर भगवान आपका मालिक. समझिए ये बात मैंने आपसे 2019 में द कश्मीर फाइल्स के बारे में कहा होता, और आप सब लोगों ने उसमें $100,000 डाल दिए होते. आज सोचिए आप कितने करोड़ों के मालिक होते. 35 करोड़ की फिल्म ने 350 करोड़ का बिजनेस किया. ROI लगाइए, 500% का ROI द ताशकंद फाइल्स का है. और जो हमने अभी द बंगाल फाइल्स बनाई है, इसका ROI आप सोच भी नहीं सकते क्या होने वाला है. बिकॉज आई स्पेशलाइज इन मेकिंग वेरी कंट्रोल्ड. मैं लाइफस्टाइल में खर्चा नहीं करता, मैं वो सब नहीं करता हूँ जो बॉलीवुड वाले करते हैं. मैं 24 घंटे सिर्फ काम करता हूँ. हमारी टीम जो है पूरी धार्मिक टीम में काम करते हैं, एंड वी क्रिएट वर्ल्ड क्लास सिनेमा. सो आई टोल्ड हिम इफ वी हैव टू मेक दिस फिल्म, वी विल मेक इट ओनली एन ऑस्कर क्वालिटी फिल्म, नथिंग एल्स. Shri Aurobindo deserves nothing less than an Oscar quality film. I cannot make it with Indian mindset कि चलो क्या इन लोगों को तो दिखा दो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. No, when the biggest people of the world, and my dharma is not to just make a film. My dharma is to convert people to divine consciousness. Want them to understand the power of one man, how one man can free. In fact, without Shri Aurobindo, Bengal wouldn't have been reunited.
Yes, absolutely right. Yeah.
Correct? भारत को जोड़ने का काम सिर्फ एक आदमी ने किया, तोड़ने का तो हजारों लोग मिल जाएंगे. Bengal was divided in 1905. It is because of him, one man, his spiritual strength, it got reunited. As today, India is on the verge of getting divided in smaller units. World is getting divided. Suppose if collectively we can do this, you cannot realize and understand This is that moment where greatness is achieved. You will be part of a great history because I am determined to make this film. Right? You want, you can be part of this. Financially or morally or emotionally, in whichever way you want. आज रात को जैसे नहीं पहले मीटिंग्स होती थी फ्रीडम मूवमेंट में बेसमेंट में बच्चे लोग कि किसी को बताएंगे नहीं पर हम लोग ये करेंगे, तुम बम फोड़ देना, तुम वो कर देना, तुम ये, मुझे ऐसी फीलिंग आ रही है. So I leave at this. I have written a book which is highly inspired by Indian Vedantic philosophy. I have made very simple rather than making it complex. Making simple is very difficult. So I made this. So, and this is one of the best sellers amongst young people. I don't know why. Maybe they like my beard and buy that, or because it's called the Book of Life. Everybody is finding meaning. So मैं आपके लिए लेके आया था.
Thank you.
And I can't be a better moment than this.